the absolutely crucial decision for us all as we head into the coming winter is, are we, the West, the supporters of Ukraine, going to provide that money, that political will, the equipment, the ammunition, and all the other forms of support that would allow the hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians to mobilize into an effective army? Because it's only if we do that will Ukraine be able to build the combat power, the force to do that, probably beginning seriously next summer, I would guess.
We do want to focus back on what's happening in Ukraine because over the last few days there have been several reports claiming that Ukrainian forces have sieged huge swathes of territory, including 20 villages in the last 24 hours alone, and have got Russian troops on the run. Ukraine says it has recovered over 1,000 square miles of territory. Is this then the long-anticipated breakthrough in the 6-month war? Let's talk to General Sir Richard Barrons, former Commander, Joint Forces Command. General, good evening.
Good evening.
What do you think? Because people have been getting very excited about this over the past 24, 48 hours, haven't they? And I was reading it and I was thinking to myself, yes, but we've sort of heard about these breakthroughs before and it hasn't quite turned out that way.
So you're right. We should be pleased and optimistic, but not get carried away. The Ukrainian attack in the north of the country around Kharkiv has been conducted with some skill from the Ukrainian side. They saw from their intelligence an opportunity. They moved a large force without being detected so that it could get to the right place. And they've attacked with considerable surprise and also with considerable skill, because they're making very good use of the weapons that the West has provided to deplete Russia's ace card, which is its reliance on artillery. But the big difference has been the Ukrainians are attacking to take back their homes, to protect their families and restore their country. And the Russian morale, on the other hand, has been extraordinarily fragile. And when put to the test, many of them have simply fled so far.
So the Russian collapse in morale that some people have been talking about is real. And the reason I was cautious is I thought, yes, they're not fighting for their own country. They're trying to take over somebody else's. But they have huge strength of numbers, haven't they?
So we want to be absolutely clear. This area around Kharkiv was lightly held by not very good Russian forces. So it's not an area that Russia, in its design of its own campaign, really wants to hang on to as much as other places. So the fact that the morale has cracked and the Russians have departed at speed from much of the battlefield does absolutely not mean that the fights to come in the future around the Donbass and in the south and right now around the city of Kherson are going to be easy at all. The one does not mean the other.
We've been talking about Ukraine. You may want to reflect just briefly, as the Queen, of course, was head of the armed forces, was she not? She was your leader.
She absolutely was. And every commissioned officer in the Army, Navy and Air Force draws their commission from the sovereign, not from Parliament or the government. There's a direct connection between everybody who serves in the armed forces and the sovereign.
Indeed, Sir Richard. And when it comes to what your key role was, of course, to defend the realm, but also at times to prosecute war overseas, this is something that the Ukrainians are having to do themselves to defend their own realm. And you were saying a short time ago, that is one of the key differences between their motivation and the Russian troops who, in some parts of the country, are now on the run. How do the Ukrainians press home their advantage to ensure that this is not yet another false dawn in their attempt to secure the safety and territorial integrity